Hey guys, and welcome to Vlogmas 13. So we're gonna jump right in. You guys know that I've been working on a few tweaks and revamps for my shop prior to launch, and I was definitely having one of those keep it simple stupid moments and wanted to share that with you. So I made this backing card about 3 weeks ago and decided that I just did not like it for my sticker pack. So I decided to revamp it and I made this one instead. It just looks a lot more professional to me. So I'm gonna show you how to make these backing cards as well as how to use up any additional cardstock you had that was maybe wasted or that you had laying around to make these adorable freebie holders. I came up with this idea just kind of on a whim, and I was like, oh, I think it's really cute and it could be useful. If you don't really do freebies, you could also just write a cute message or thank you on it and throw it in your packaging. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys. And on top of it, this is also recycled paper. So killing two birds with one stone. So I was inspired to do this video by these jacked up cuts that came out of my Cricut. And I'm not going to completely blame it on the Cricut. I think it's a mix of user error and then also the overall functionality of the software. But long story short, I went ahead and did those cutouts of the snowman that you guys saw in the previous vlog. And that came out okay once I knew what I was doing and I got a few tips. However, when you are printing just cardstock and you're not trying to cut out any stickers or anything like that, the print and cut function does not work well. And after doing some research, I found out that if you are doing the print and cut function, the Cricut is usually looking for white paper. It will even display that error message when it cannot find the registration lines. So rather than researching and trying to find a way around this, I decided to keep it simple, stupid, and just go back to basics and not use my Cricut. So here is what you'll need for this project. You're gonna need a paper slicer or cutter, an X-Acto knife, some recycled paper or cardstock or maybe even construction paper, and a printer. Now, I went on Amazon and did like a quick calculation of what all of this would cost starting out, and I would say you're somewhere between 65 to 70 bucks, especially if you just get a low-end printer because we're just printing in black. Now, if you already have a printer, which most of us do, you're looking at a ballpark of 20 bucks to get this project done. So you don't need all those fancy tools and equipment. So let's go ahead and jump in. So as you guys can see here, I'm starting in Photoshop, but I'm going to put a huge disclaimer here. You do not need Photoshop. Do not limit yourself with expensive software. You can go online and find similar functionality out of free pieces of software that I will have listed below in the description area. I just use Photoshop because I have it. Now, this is what the template looked like that I was attempting to import into Cricut to cut. So I had the right idea, but with the paper type that I have, it was just not working out. So what I'm going to do is make a new document and make it the size of a piece of paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. And I'm going to find my original artwork that I did for this backing card. And keep in mind, this artwork should be in a PNG, aka transparent format when you're importing it. You don't want that white background. So now that we have it in Photoshop, I'm gonna go ahead and resize it. And as you can see by this little adjustment tool, it will always show you the width and height of your image. So you can size it to exactly the size that you want it to be to fit in your cello bags or into your packaging. Now, once you have it right, you're gonna go ahead and put it in the right place. I like to start at the top left corner and then work my way from there. So once you have it placed, you're gonna go to your selection tool and you're going to select the entire design, and then you're going to copy and paste it twice. Now, as you can see here, I copied and pasted it 3 times because I was trying to get 4 into a row to save as much paper as possible. But as you can see, 4 is just not going to fit, and with the sizing that I have, I don't want to make these any smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and space them out with 3 in a row. Photoshop helping me out here to get that spacing right. And then we're going to go back and delete that 4th image because we don't need it. So once that image is deleted, you're going to go to the right, select all your layers and merge them. Then you're going to go back, copy the design once again, and then paste it twice. And that gives you the exact replica to just put in 2 additional rows, and it just aligns perfectly. And that's why I love using Photoshop, because of the alignment tools. But again, any program will get this job done. So what you're gonna do now is save it to your computer in a name that you'll be able to find and remember. And then you're gonna open it up in Preview or whatever you use to look at images and make sure that everything looks right. So everything looks good, so I'm gonna go ahead and print. You guys can see that I'm low on ink here, so I'm gonna make sure to choose black and white to get the printer to just use the black ink. We're gonna do media and quality, make sure you have the right quality of paper checked in, and then you're going to print. Now, like I said, I'm using recycled cardstock, but you can use any type of paper that you want to. I will have the paper that I've used linked below. All right, so here is our print, and it looks pretty good to me. So like I said, we're just printing in black and white. So as long as you have a decent printer that can print in black, you can get this project done. You could even use a stamp or you can handwrite, but I chose this method. So now we're gonna move on to the cutting. So this paper cutter, I mentioned to you guys earlier, I got off Amazon and it was only about 10 bucks. I will also have it listed below, but as you can see here, it gets the job done. And to be honest with you guys, while I was cutting this, I was in my PJs listening to a podcast with a face mask on. So definitely multitasking. If you're a creator, things like this don't really bother you, like this type of like monotonous work. I feel like it's more relaxing and therapeutic than anything. And at the end of the day, you are running an Etsy shop. Etsy is known for handmade goods. So trying to automate everything and have a machine do everything is just not really practical for that type of platform. And maybe if I become a bigger company, I will move back to a machine, but I like this process right now. Okay, so here are all of those jacked up cuts from the Cricut and previous cuts that I made with my scissors that just weren't straight. So we are going to take these and basically turn them into those freebie backing cards that I showed you guys earlier. Now we're just gonna lay this into our paper cutter and get those squares cut out. Now for me, I didn't want any signs of font or ink to be picked up, so I just made sure to cut around any parts that were physically printed on so I could just have a clear, clean card. And there we go, some nice little backing cards made in a couple of minutes from leftover recycled paper. So now I'm gonna show you guys how to make it. You wanna get a cutting mat or even like a cutting board from your kitchen because you don't wanna damage your desk or your counter space. And you're gonna get those freebie stickers that you have. Now here you will need a box cutter or an X-Acto knife, and of course be really careful. But you're gonna cut 2 slits in there that are about the width of your freebie sticker, whatever size that it may be. You're gonna take the sticker and just slide it into the slits. And boom, baby, we have a new freebie backing card. It was so easy, and we are using leftover paper. So now you can take either a stamp or pen and write a thank you or a handwritten note, or like me, I simply wrote freebie on there to let the customer know why they're getting this in their package. And there you have it, super simple. So now I'm gonna do a few more on camera to show you guys. Now I just wanted to show you guys on here to not be afraid to make the slits super long because if you try to make them too close together or too small, once you go to place your freebie into it, you can do like I did and just rip through the paper. But again, it's recycled scrap paper, so it's not the end of the world. We just set it to the side and get a new one out. And while I was finishing up these little freebie cards, I was printing out more of those backing cards that I'd be ready to cut as soon as they came out of the printer. And also you can stack multiple sheets on here, but I would say with cardstock, I was probably able to get 3 sheets stacked before the blade just didn't want to go through it. So just be mindful. And again, beautifully made cards, easy peasy, and you did all of it by hand. And here we have 2 products made in just a few minutes using leftover cardstock paper. So it just goes to show you guys, you can make anything happen without expensive tools. And also, if you want to add a little extra special touch, you can get that little paper cutter that I showed you guys previously to just round out the corners of either your card, your backing card for your stickers, or for the freebies. And I think I may honestly do this for all of my freebies because I actually like cutting these out. I think it's fun. All right, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and maybe you learned a lesson as well, that sometimes it's just best to keep things simple. So I really appreciate all your support through these Vlogmas series. You guys have been great, and I will see you tomorrow in Vlogmas Day 14. Bye.